Om Swastiastu, good morning, sir and friend. On this occasion, I will present LKM5 on bioenergetics integration. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Marta Uli Tambunan with SIN 24130310026. Next, explain the role of the Krebs cycle in providing electrons carrier molecules NADH and FADH2 for energy production. The Krebs cycle plays a central role in the energy metabolism by oxidizing acetyl CoA into carbon dioxide CO2 while generating high-energy electron carriers NADH and FADH2. These molecules store high-energy electrons that are later transferred to the electrons transport chains atau ETC, where they are used to generate ATP. Thus, the Krebs cycle supplies the essential reducing equivalents required for oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, next. State and explain the main products of one Krebs cycle and the role of each product in energy metabolism. One-third of the Krebs cycle produces 3 NADH, sehingga carry electrons to the ATC for ATP production. Yang kedua, 1 FADH2 yang sehingga also transfer electrons to the ATC. Yang ketiga, 1 ATP atau GTP yaitu provides immediate energy. Yang keempat, 2 CO2 yes, sehingga released as waste. NADH and FADH2 are crucial because they drive the production of most ATP during oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, next. Why is NADH high but ATP low in this case? Explain the relationship with electron transport chains dysfunction. High NADH levels combined with low ATP indicate that NADH is not being efficiently oxidized in the electron transport chains. This occurs due to defects in the ATC, specifically reduced activity of complex 4. As a result, electrons cannot be effectively transferred to oxygen, causing a backup of electrons and accumulation of NADH. Since electrons flow is impaired, the proton gradient cannot be properly formed, leading to reduced ATP synthesis despite high NADH levels. Next, describe the flow of electrons in the electron transport chains from NADH to oxygen as the final electron acceptor. Electrons from NADH enter the ATC at complex 1, while electrons from FADH2 enter the complex 2. The electrons are transferred through coenzyme Q to complex 3, then to cytochrome C And finally, 2 complex 4. At complex 4, electrons are transferred to oxygen, the final electron receptor, forming water H2O. During this process, energy is released and used to pump proton H positive into the intermembrane space, creating a proton gradient. Next, explain the role of oxygen in the electron transport chain and what happens if oxygen is not sufficiently available. Oxygen acts as the final electron acceptor in the electron transport chain. It absorbs electrons at complex 4 and combines with proton to form water. If oxygen is not available or insufficient, electron flow stops, causing a build-up of NADH and a shortage of NADH um, positive. This helps both the ATG and the Krebs cycle, ultimately leading to a severe decrease in ATP production. Next, explain how the proton gradient is formed and how its energy is used to produce ATP. The proton gradient is formed when protons H positive are pumped from the mitochondrial matrix into the intermembrane space by complexes 1, 3, and 4 of the ATG. This creates both a concentration and electrical gradient. Protons then flow back into the matrix through ATP synthesis, and the energy releases drives the synthesis of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate, yaitu ADP plus PPI sehingga menjadi ATP. Next, in this case, complex uh, for activity is decreased. Analyze how this affects electron flow, proton gradient formation, ATP production. Jadi electron flow itu reduce complex for activity blocks the transfer of electrons to oxygen, causing electrons accumulation in the chain. Proton gradient formation. Jadi proton pumping decreases because electron flow is slowed, reducing the gradient across the membrane. Ketiga, ATP production. ATP production. With a weaker proton gradient, ATP synthase cannot produce sufficient ATP, leading to low energy output. Compare the energy contribution of NADH and FADH2 in ATP production through oxidative phosphorylation. NADH produces approximately 2.5 ATP. FADH2 produces approximately 1.5 ATP, and ADH contributes more energy because it enters the ATG at complex 1, which results in more proton pumping compared to FADH2, which enters at complex 2. Next, explain how the ATP or ADP ratio and NADH or NADH positive ratio regulate the rate of Krebs cycle electron transport chain. ATP or NADH ratio. High ATP inhibits both the Krebs cycle and ATG, while high ADP stimulates them to produce more energy. NADH or NADH positive ratio. High NADH inhibits K enzymes in the Krebs cycle and slow the ATG, while high NAD positive promotes metabolic activity. This regulatory mechanism ensures that ATP production matches cellular energy demand. Explain the integrated relationship between glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, oxidative phosphorylation, in producing maximum cellular energy. Glycolysis breaks down glucose into pyruvat, generating small amounts of ATP and ADH. Pyruvat is converted into acetyl-CoA, which enters the Krebs cycle to produce an aldehyde and F-aldehyde. These electron carriers deliver high-energy electrons to the electron transport chain, where a proton gradient is formed. Finally, oxidative phosphorylation uses this gradient to generate less amounts of ATP. These processes are tightly interconnected, and disruption in one such as the electron transport chain in this case reduces overall energy production. Okay, thank you, sir and friends. I hope what has been presented has broadened our knowledge and understanding. Apologize for any shortcomings. That's all, and thank you. Om Santi 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 Om.